back to another episode of Reviewing Games. Today we're going to be taking a look at importing more cartridge games to the Polymega. Polymega features importing cartridge games Part 2. Polymega can play all kinds of different games, CD games and cartridge games. Today we're going to be importing some more cartridge games. I'm going to go ahead and connect the Mega Element Module because the first game we're going to import to the Polymega is Space Harrier 2 for the Sega Genesis. And for time, we're going to go ahead and fast forward through the install process here. I'm kidding around because there's no install times. Once you insert a cartridge game into the module, the cartridge icon is going to show up on screen. You're going to select if you want to install it to the Polymega storage or the external storage. And there's no load time importing cartridge games. It's instantaneous. Let's go ahead and take a look at Space Harrier 2 on Sega Genesis. In this classic 3D auto-scrolling shooter on Sega Genesis, you control a guy and you're going to be flying forward on screen, avoiding obstacles coming at you, attacking enemy waves, and making your way to that boss at the end of the level. Classic game on Sega Genesis. Going to go ahead and remove that module so we can connect the Super Element Module so we can import the next game, which is Gundam Wing Endless Duel for the Super Famicom. Let's go ahead and take a look at Gundam Wing Endless Duel on Super Famicom. This was a fantastic one-on-one fighting game where you would pick one of 9 Gundam mechs to fight it out. Gundam Wing Endless Duel was a interesting Gundam game as it was a one-on-one fighting game. And all you want to do is attack the other player, use your special moves, and jump and block and win the match and move on to the next round. And of course, different characters will have different special moves and different combos. Gonna go ahead and remove that module so we can insert the power module so we can play Nintendo games. And the next game we're importing is Robocop for NES. I have to be honest, while playing Robocop, it did not remind me of the game I grew up playing as a kid. I think that's because I remember playing the Game Boy Robocop game the most, but here on the Nintendo, Robocop is a side-scrolling action-adventure game where you don't have a jump button, but you can slowly climb up stairs. And you're going to be punching thugs and punching dogs until you are able to use your sidearm weapon, making it a little bit easier to attack the enemies with. As you make your way to that boss at the end of the level, which I thought was ED209, and I believe he is in the Game Boy version. Here it's just some guy. The second stage is kind of cryptic, where you have to punch this wall so you can progress through this secret area and continue on in the level. Interesting game on the Nintendo. I'm going to go ahead and connect the PC Engine TurboGrafx 16 module. Which was the Turbo module, so we can import the next game, which is Genpei Toumaden for PC Engine. And again, for time, we're going to go ahead and fast forward through the install process, but we don't need to fast forward because there is no install time for cartridge games. It's just immediate. Let's go ahead and look at Genpei on the PC Engine HuCard. This was a surprising game for me to play. This is an action side-scrolling adventure game where you control a large sprite guy who has red hair and has black armor, carries a sword, and you're going to be fighting undead spirits and other creatures and avoiding traps in this game. Kind of a hard game. It takes a while to compensate for swinging your sword and making your way through the levels. All you want to do is attack enemies and make your way to the boss at the end of the level. Interesting game. Speaking of Genpei, I do have the sequel game, which was called Genpei Toumaden ni no Maka, which is the sequel to the first game. So let's go ahead and import that one now. And it's more of the same. It's almost exactly the same game. So if you like the first game, you're gonna really like the second one too. It's basically the exact same thing. You're running and jumping and attacking enemies coming at you. Yeah, it looks like the exact same game. The graphics might be a little bit like better looking. Might be a little bit better looking graphics here, but it's still the same rodeo. You're still attacking the same way. The guy looks a little, he might be a little more detailed in the first game. And that last game we looked at was Genpei Toumaden ni no Maka for the PC Engine. And that was one of those HuCard games. Very cool. I like playing side-scrolling action-adventure games, and there's a lot of those on PC Engine. And I just want to say thank you everyone for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.